Only in Sydney. Oh, is it again in there? So it's a Chennai. It's a Chennai. Grand. Oh, I see. Very particular about
Ladies and gentlemen, to start the proceedings, we will start with the lighting of the traditional oil lamp, and I would like to invite the following to light the lamp. Your Grace, the Vice Chancellor of the Chancellor of University of Colombo, Dr. Anthony, our former Chancellor, University of Colombo, Professor K Samaranayake, the Emeritus Professor of Computer Science of University of Colombo and Chairman Vidya, and also the patron of the IT chapter of the Alumni Association of University of Colombo.
Then didn't get carried. Vishwas Bible
gathered here today for two very special events. One being the revival of the IT chapter of the Alumni Association of the University of Colombo. Though established about 10 years ago, the IT chapter has not been very active. Now, we think it is time that we reactivated the IT chapter, taking into consideration the amount of interest that has been shown by the IT industry of Sri Lanka and the number of events that are jointly undertaken by the academia of IT academia, especially of the universities and the other training organizations in Sri Lanka and the IT industry of Sri Lanka. So that is one event. The other most important event is the launch of the felicitation volume to Professor K Samaranayake He is the Emeritus Professor of Computer Science of University of Colombo and the Chairman of ICT Agency of Sri Lanka, and also the patron of the IT chapter of the Alumni Association of University of Colombo. Professor Samaranayake really does not need any introduction to an audience like this, but as we all know, he has been a pioneer of major IT educational programs and other IT events in Sri Lanka. For over 40 years, his contribution to the IT education and IT industry in Sri Lanka cannot be evaluated easily. The felicitation volume contains many academic articles and also contributions made by colleagues and friends. I'm sure this felicitation volume, reading through it, would give you an insight to who Professor Samaranayake is. And also, as the name of the felicitation volume suggests, Partners in Progress, how he was able to achieve so much during this time, because he always believed in partners and working together. And this slogan, Api Venu Ven Api, I think is most appropriate when applied to Professor Samaranayake and the way he works. So, to continue the events, I would like to invite Mrs. Sheshika Fernando, who is a former student of ours, and she is a star pupil of University of Colombo School of Computing, and she passed out recently in the last batch of computer science students. She is going to talk to you about the IT chapter and its advantages and advantages to the IT industry, to the academia, and to basically to Sri Lanka in general. Over to you, Sheshika.
Thank you, Mrs. Gamage. Your Lordship, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry I'm not tall enough, the flowers are covering my pretty face. So, sometime back in the near past, 40 young, bright, aspiring students sat in a classroom listening to their director introduce to them the degree program that they were to follow for the next 2 years of their lives. The place, University of Colombo School of Computing. The batch, the last batch of computer science special students of the UCSC. The venue, oh, I already mentioned the venue. The date, somewhere in the mid-July of 2004. The director, none other than Dr. Ruwan Veerasinghe. So Dr. Ruwan Veerasinghe, in his usual casual manner, says, you guys will need to form a mail group so that we can communicate with you and you can communicate with each other. Thank you. And there goes my pretty face. 3 years later, after many assignments submitted, lecture notes exchanged, examinations passed, job vacancies announced, undergraduates recruited, parties organized, jokes sent around, CSS2K2@yahoogroups.com, the mail group still remains one of the most active mail groups around. Relevance? This, friends, is my idea of a very small, closed alumni association. CSS2K2 is 40 students who study together, who now communicate with each other regarding technical problems and sometimes personal problems, exchange information about technical details, are informed of what each other is doing where, and basically in touch with everybody they once spent 8 hours of every day with. So if 40 such students, if a community of 40 students can be so beneficial and advantageous, imagine the power and the strength of an alumni association which spans various degree programs, be it the computer science special graduates, the computer science general graduates, the BIT graduates, the MSc students, the postgraduate diploma holders, PhD students of various batches. Imagine how powerful and how strong that community would be. If we just try to think of the advantages that everybody can gain from such a network, think of the global network that these individuals will form. There are graduates of the University of Colombo School of Computing all over the world, world-renowned individuals and fresh students like us. So imagine how each other can help by communicating and being in touch with each other. Also, I currently work at Millennium IT, and I hope to be there for a long time to come if they don't kick me off. And at Millennium IT, we are constantly improving our systems, our technology. And currently, we are working with the University of Colombo School of Computing, working hand to hand to improve the technology that we use at Millennium IT. We take advice from the academia of the University of Colombo School of Computing, and we take that advice, we take that information, and we make use of it to improve our systems and give better service to our customers and our clients. Put an alumni association in the middle. Imagine the number of organizations, companies that can gain from this venture. Imagine what the academia of the University of Colombo School of Computing can offer to organizations, to the IT industry in Sri Lanka. And while we reap all these benefits from the university, we also help the university to maintain a very good curriculum that will help the students that study that curriculum to be fit for the industry when they graduate. There has been a lot of chaos about students not being fit for the industry when they graduate. Some say they are too technical. Some say they don't have any practical experience. But with a program like this, with an alumni association, we who represent the industry can talk to the university and tell them our requirement and get the university, in fact, to train these students, our potential employees of the industry. We can train them while they are in campus, even before recruiting them. So when they pass out, they are just fit to start working from day one. And not just train them, recruitment. Now, there's a lot of controversy over graduates not having employment. Unemployment, I see a lot of strikes going on with students, undergraduates holding placards saying, Rakya Virahithabhava. I don't know what it is all about. I'm completely new to this idea of unemployment. When I graduated in 2006, I did my final exams in June to July. And by April, I already knew that I was going to work at Millennium IT. I was already recruited. So by the time I finished my exams, I got a two-month holiday and I started working. Same applies to each and every member in my batch. Everybody was given jobs even before they had thought of passing the exams. And Dr. Shiromi tells me that the industry requirement for IT professionals each year, IT graduates each year, is 5,000. And that the universities in Sri Lanka currently put out only 2,500. So who fills the 2,500 that is not filled by the universities? This is a big problem for industry. So how do they find these people? How do they pick the brains from the universities if they have no link between the university and the industry? The Alumni Association, I say, is a very, very good opportunity for the industry to get hold of the brains of the universities. And in addition to what the industry can get, the biggest satisfaction that I would get would be to give something back to the system that I got educated from, the free education system that I used to get to where I am today. If I can give back to the university by means of a 2-hour lecture, or by means of information, or by means of support to the students in one way or the other, that would be the greatest reward that I could get. That would be my greatest satisfaction. I know for a fact that there are undergraduates spread across the country, across the world, who wish to give back something to the institute that they gained this much from. We are here standing in our positions that we hold in our organizations because of what we learned from the university back then, free of charge. I, unfortunately, currently don't have the opportunity of giving back. But I'm sure with an alumni association, a fully active alumni association, I can be in contact with my university, in contact with the students that are currently studying the university, and I can give back so much from what I have learned by being in the industry. I have been in the industry not even 1 year. Imagine the experience, the exposure of the students who have graduated, who've been in the industry holding very big positions. Imagine what they can give back to the university. So it's not just a win-win situation to actively take part in an alumni association. It is a win-win-win-win-win situation. Because there are so many people who will win in so many ways by just forming and coming together as an AA. AA, not Alcoholics Anonymous, but an alumni association. So come forward, join hands, for we, as the output of the University of Colombo, individually are very strong, powerful, knowledgeable people. Imagine the strength, the power, when we, the individuals, join hands. Oh, I initially saw a picture of a couple of people joining hands, and it said Partners in Progress. So yes, that is what we can gain if we come together as the Alumni Association, as an active Alumni Association. So let's join hands and be partners in progress and win, 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 win. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Seshika. Now in Seshika's case, she has a beautiful face to show. But in my case, I'd rather hide my own face. So that's why I had the flowers in front of me. But anyway, now that it's gone, I think we'll continue like this. The next event is an introduction to this felicitation volume by the director of the University of Colombo School of Computing, Dr. Ruan Veerasinghe, and he is one of the members of the main editorial board too. I think his analysis of this book will give you some idea of what really makes Professor Samaranayake tick. Over to you.
Distinguished guests, I'm honored to stand before you to give an introduction and not an analysis of this book. I hope Professor Jyothi Sanayake will do that for us. But I just want to say that we have, in 2004, when Professor Samaranayake retired from university service, we had already planned this book, and a fair amount of the content of the book was also had also come in from various people from various parts of the world, and yet it took us 3 years more to actually get to the final product. I hope this doesn't only say something about our speed, but also about the quality of what resulted. And for this, for persevering in this, I think I will be failing in my duty if I don't single out Dr. Anuja Dharmaratna, who is one of us. The book, I'm supposed to give an introduction, so the book consists of 5 parts, and if you read the first 5 articles on politics, on leadership styles, on strong interaction physics, on quality assurance in education, and on computer law, you may wonder what on earth brings those topics together. They are so varied, and that is what makes Professor Samaranayake the person he is. He has been involved in each of these areas, and not only in pure IT information technology as we know it. So the first section of the book is consists of these 5 articles from 5 eminent people, some of whom I see in this audience. And then the second section is mainly the convocation ceremony at which Professor Samaranayake gave the convocation address. The third section forms the main heart of this book, consists of articles contributed by over 40 individuals who worked with Professor Samaranayake in various fields. And the fourth section is a transcription of messages, of talks given by people on his the felicitation ceremony that we had 3 years ago. So those are written transcriptions. There may be some typos in them, but they are really coming from the hearts of people who made those. And the final section, of course, is probably one section you don't want to miss: photographs. Photographs that actually tell the story of a wide and varied career and influence that Professor Samaranayake had. So it has, I think, if I'm not mistaken, pictures of people like Isahami to Arthur Clarke and Bill Gates. I think also Tim Berners-Lee. I'm not sure if there is one with Kofi Annan. So the book is actually put together by people who have seen different angles of Professor Samaranayake and who have benefited and who have expressed their thoughts. As I said, I will not analyze this or summarize this, but from my point of view, and I think this is shared by several people who have worked with him, particularly in the state side, I think there is a singularly unique characteristic that I want to recognize, and that is, unfortunately, in this country, when we visit other countries, we feel that we have bound ourselves up in all kinds of things, in all kinds of rules, and in the state sector particularly. We have tied ourselves in knots, and it's very difficult to go forward. And within that environment, Professor Samaranayake was able to go, I think, beyond where most people got to, without breaking the law, breaking the rules, and yet by bending them virtually beyond recognition. And that singular skill has brought this place to what it was, and I think transformed several of the other institutions within which he worked over his long and illustrious career. And so, with that, may I recommend that all of you purchase one of these for posterity. Thank you.
I would like to call upon Mrs. Ramani Amarasuriya. She is the president of the Alumni Association of the University of Colombo. She will speak a few words on probably the Alumni Association and any other topic of interest which she would like to express here. Over to you, Mrs. Amarasuriya.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me thank you for inviting me to speak a few words on behalf of the Alumni Association of the University of Colombo. Today is a very important day when the UCSC is honoring a very special personality, the visionary, Professor K Samaranayake, who has been described as a man who is many steps ahead of his time. Everybody will agree that the UCSC is what it is today thanks to the vision and dynamism of Professor Samaranayake. And I'm very happy to be associated with you on this occasion. Now, on behalf of the Alumni Association of the University of Colombo, I would like to felicitate the IT chapter, which is being officially revived today. I have just taken over as president of the Alumni Association, and our association is looking forward to working closely with the IT chapter. I was just going through our constitution, and according to our constitution, there are certain steps that have to be followed when an affiliated organization is formed, but I understand that these formalities have been followed when the IT chapter was originally established. Now, I have been asked to tell you today something about the work the Alumni Association is doing. Our association was formed in 1982, that is 25 years ago. It was the brainchild of Professor Stanley Vijayasundara, the Vice Chancellor at the time. His aim was to have an alumni association to assist in university development and to obtain the participation of the alumni to look after the welfare of the university and its undergraduates. The main objectives of the association are to promote close relations between the university and its alumni, to promote the interest of the alumni in the affairs of the university, and to assist, and for the alumni to assist the university in its development and pursuit of academic excellence. Our association has undertaken several major projects in the past 25 years. The biggest project was the building of a 5-storied hostel at Buggers Lane, which now houses nearly 600 women undergraduates. A very satisfying project which I would like to revive this year is the Friend and Guide scheme, where we attach an undergraduate to an alumni who becomes the friend and guide of that student and helps him or her through the university years. Members of our alumni who volunteered to be in this scheme had a very rewarding experience, as they had the opportunity to get to know their student, take them to their homes, then improve their language ability by speaking to them in English, develop their self-confidence, and to take care of them. Some even assisted them to obtain suitable employment on graduation. So we look forward to volunteers from among all of you to continue this scheme. I'm happy that we now have a representative of the UCSC on our executive committee. That is your Deputy Director of the UCSC, Dr. Gihan Vikramanayake, who was elected as a member of our EXCO of the alumni for 2007-2008. He has agreed to help us with another big project we have just launched. That is to prepare a comprehensive University of Colombo alumni membership directory. We hope that we are able to, within the next 3 years, compile this directory, which will serve as a useful information bank of our alumni, going as far back as possible. Again, we look forward to all of you giving us all your information. I'm happy that the UCSC is also compiling a directory of alumni, so hopefully we can work together on this project. Our association has also organized many different projects over the years. We have conducted English classes, we have sponsored several students to follow IT courses. We have organized seminars and career guidance programs to help students prepare for the job market. We have donated books to hostel libraries, helped needy students through several monthly scholarships. We have given a stipend of $250 a month to supplement what they received through the Mahapura scholarship. So we have done whatever we could, and the Alumni Association will do its best to continue to play an active role in the University of Colombo. And we look forward to working together with your IT chapter in our various projects. On behalf of the Alumni Association, may I wish the new IT chapter all the very best in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Ramani Amarasuriya. I think gaining from what she said and also from what Seshika told us earlier, now we can see what we can do for each other, the institution, the past students as well as the current students, how we can benefit from actively participating in this association. The next speaker, I would like to invite Professor J.B. Disanayake. He is also going to talk about Professor Samaranayake, I think, because he has not told me what he is going to talk, so we will listen to his talk and then decide.
Chancellor, Your Grace, former Vice Chancellor, Dr. Antonis, Professor Samaranayake, and all those who are gathered here this evening to felicitate Professor Samaranayake and his partners. As Dr. Ruwan said, I'm sorry I'm not going to analyze the book. I will also pass this to somebody else. He did that. And I came in not to praise Samaranayake either, because there's no need to praise him. Enough of that. But I can tell him how he inspired me to be one of his partners. As gathered from the volume, I am one of the partners mentioned here. And how did I come into the picture on this side? I was happily existing on the other side of the campus, in the Sinhala department, teaching Sinhala, Amavatra and Buddhasarana, and language. Very happy there. Suddenly I see that I am on this side, at the UCSU, and I know nothing of the computer. So it's very funny for a man like me to be working with a man like Samaranayake, a man of this caliber, without knowing anything about the computer. I know a little bit now. But when I started, I knew nothing. So let me begin by quoting him, his convocation oration when he was awarded the Doctor of Science honoris causa by our Lordship about 2 years ago. He did say something about how he felt. Let me quote from this convocation address he made. Now this the convocation address he made at the Colombo, at the BMSH. He said, "Today my memory goes back to the first of such convocations where I too, like those of you about to receive your well-earned degree, received mine from the then Governor General of Ceylon, Sir Oliver Gunathilaka, who was the Chancellor of the University of Ceylon, which had campuses both at Colombo and Peradeniya, at the convocation held in Peradeniya on the 24th of November 1961. The recipients of honorary doctorate on that occasion were the Venerable Yakkadwesri Prajnarama and Mr. Martin Vikramasinghe. The 1961 convocation was indeed a historic event for me, and I still have in my possession the publication with the names of those who graduated. That day, neither I nor any of my fellow graduates would have had any idea as to what they would be today, 43 years later. I did not even think that I would be receiving another degree, a prestigious award at another convocation more than 4 decades later. Nor did I have any idea as to what I would go through during my working life, as has been generously elaborated by the director. All that. Now, I quoted that because I was another recipient of the degree at that convocation. So he and I had the same convocation, got our degrees from the Governor General of that time, and ever since then, he studied here, I studied in Peradeniya. Ever since then, something happened. We were destined to meet and work together, and I'm happy that I met him. Now, as everybody knows, he's a man, a committed man. If he's given some task, he'll do it. And he's another man who can do many things at the same time. I'm sure if you've ever seen someone work in the office, he'll have a telephone on one ear and a pen in another one, correcting something, signing something, and verbally telling somebody, giving another instruction, Miss Gamage or something like that. It's quite possible that he's a man who can do many jobs at the same time and well. Now, we do many things very bad. He's one man who can do many things at the same time and equally well. And he's another man who gave me the assurance that we need not fear technology. Now, normally there was a fear at that time that technology is going to change our language, for example. That we'll have to change our language with the computer. Now, Prof. Samaranayake, no, nothing of the kind. We'll change the computer through the language. So it gave me full assurance that the Sinhala language will not suffer as a result of the computer. Very nice to have. And he made sure that we got Sinhala into the computer, if necessary, by changing the computer. So I know, for example, when we needed words to introduce this subject in Sinhala, first task when he was the director of the FinTech at that time, he said, JB, let's coin words now. Of course, then I had no idea about computer science, but we got together, he got together many other partners, professors, Professor Sanskrit, of Sinhala, got together, and we did coin the first 1,000 words in Sinhala. And we're very happy with it. The ideas are like words like Mrudukanga that you use today for hardware, for software, Mrudukanga, Drudanga, are words coined by us under his guidance at the FinTech. Then, with the very recent project week, I think concluded a week ago, words for the, again for Microsoft, words to go into the computer. Now you see when you work, still you can have things in Sinhala, but still you see English words appearing in the computer internally about redo, undo and backspace, you know, what have you. Now we have had a localizing project. We have got Sinhala into it. And again with his guidance. Our major problem came when we had to standardize the Sinhala alphabet. Now, if I ask you today, to tell me how many letters are there in the Sinhala alphabet. I'm sure there's no unanimity on this matter. You'll keep on saying, I'm sorry if I ask my friend Chandananda or my other Dishanayaka. He calls him Dishanayaka for some reason. I'm sure you may not agree on the name. Some will say 54, 60, 61. You'll hear various numbers like at an auction. Now it's 61. We agreed on the 61, thanks to him. And for that, we had to fight to get, normally the state, the NIE, the National Institute of Education, which standardized the alphabet, said we had 60. We had to make a case for the 61st letter, not that we coined a new letter, but there's a letter which is not accommodated in the alphabet because they think it's not a letter but a conjunct letter. Akurak me bandi akurak කියලා. දැන් ඔබට ඕන නම් ලියන්න කෘතඥ කියලා, සර්වඥ කියලා, ප්‍රාඥ කියලා ඔබට ඥානක් තියෙනවා. දන්නවනේ තියෙන බව. කෘතඥ, සර්වඥ, ප්‍රාඥ, සංඥාපනේ Prajnawa, that's a nya letter. It's not in the alphabet sent by the NI to the school. It's not there. Ask the Pandits, they say, because that is not an independent letter, but a conjunct letter. Conjunct of what? It's a joint of two letters. Of what two letters? They are completely misled. It's an independent letter which has to be there in the alphabet because it stands in nya. And the word jnana or jnati can be written with two kinds of nyas. One of Pali letter, jnana, another me aniki. We had to fight a case for that. And so, getting the Unicode for Sinhala, he was one of the inspiring people behind it. He gave me the power, say, go ahead. If you think that's right, let's do it that way. And for the computer keyboard, again, there are many others who have, in this country, there are many others who have other ideas. Whenever we coin words, there are others who say nonsense, they are not suitable. We have to go back to our roots. But we can't. He's another man, he has avoided the extremes. Here's a country, Sri Lanka, when it comes to language and literature, is full of extremes. People either want to go back in time to Anuradhapura Polonna, or people who can nothing, let's just go that way. No. Avoid the extremes. Be a man of this kind. Avoid the extremes. Get to the middle. වචන හදනකොට සමහර කියනවා මේවා නෙමෙයි වචන හදන්න ඕනේ නියම සිංහල මුල් වලින් කියලා. සිය මුල් හදුවම තේරෙන්නේ මොනවද මුල් ටික හොයාගන්න බැරි යනවා. මුල් සිංහල වුණාට අපි දන්නේ නැහැ මුල මොකක්ද කියලා දැන්. So we have to have a very wonderful balance between extremes. So he's a man done very well to introduce this new subject of computer technology. Among other things, he did many things in various other areas of science, mathematics, education, all that is listed here and discussed by others. Done very well. And now, of course, very few know that in the early 60s, I came across a book, the first book in Sinhala on astronomy, and written by a man called, somebody who has a similar name, called K Samaranayake. Do you know that K Samaranayake and Prof Samaranayake same? His name is Vanyarachige K Samaranayake, you call him Sam, and one said there are some nice pictures at the end of it. I insist that you go through them because you can see Samaranayake when he was 50 years younger. Fortunately, my pictures are not there when I show how much Dakya I had then. Anyway, pictures are there. And in one of the very first ones, Prof. Samaranayake, I don't know whether you noted, you are there with your eldest son, whom you name Samita. Of course, how he came to be Samita is another very interesting story. I don't think I have time to tell you, but it's very nice. But I feel like telling it to tell you how much language he knows. He knows more than I do. When he had the son, JB, so I gave all the possible names for a son in Sayana other than Samita. What is his name? Then he said, JB, all are good, but I didn't like any of them. So I coined a word for my son, how? I am Samaranayake, they call me Sam. So I got the Sam part of it. Then he goes to Italy, traced occasionally, and he had got a little bit of ether from Italian to make the small one. So little one of Sam is Sam Eater. So he called me Sam Eater. Ingenious way of doing things. Part English, I think. Samaranayake can't be Sam. Got Sam from English, Eater from Italian, and named his son Sam Eater. And he happily told me, JB, why didn't you give me this name? I said, I didn't give you that name because that is the name of my own son. So there are two people hanged. We are fathers of two Samitars. And they become very friends at the early stages. Because my son learned the computer at his house under Shreya. So wonderful to have a man like Samaranayake to work with. And his vision, his attitudes influenced me, inspired me, and I am what I am today, partly because of him. So thank you, Prof.
Multitasking, doing so many things at the same time. I would say that I'd go one step further and say he is also capable of making those who work for him also do multitasking. I think that's his way of doing things. Next we have had a lot of speeches. Next we have a dance item by the students of the University of Colombo School of Computing, and they call this a Saraswati dance. Saraswati being the goddess of learning. So over to the students of the UCSC.
Saraswati Devi Vande Saraswati Devi කුමරේඛා ඌන කුඹ මිව පීන පයෝදර ඌන කුඹ මිව පීන පයෝදර ඌනිතාමෘත ධාරා ඌනිතාමෘත ධාරා साधन पुण्य मूर्ति धर सुरकुल वर अभिरूपा भाग्य साधन पुण्य मूर्ति धर सुरकुल वर अभिरूपा देहि देहि वरदायक हस्ते देहि देहि वरदायक हस्ते शुभ मंगल मूर्ता शुभ मंगल मूर्ता
felicitation ceremony to Professor K Samaranayake. To do the presentations, I would like to call upon the Chancellor of the University of Colombo, His Grace, the Most Reverend Oswald Gomez, Archbishop of Colombo, Professor Samaranayake, and those who provided the academic articles, Emeritus Professor P.W. Epasinghe, Dr. Ranjit Cabral, Professor K. Thank you very much, Your Grace. Now, I would like to invite Your Grace Dr. Vidya Singh on stage again to present the felicitation volume to His Grace. Thank you. I would now like to invite His Grace to deliver his speech.
Told that I had to speak until I arrived here. So you can be sure it's not going to be a long speech, but certainly the occasion demands that I say a few words in honor of Professor Samaranayake. A volume of this nature or a long speech that may last 24 hours will still not justify the tribute that we have to pay to Professor Samaranayake. He is a very distinguished scholar and he has made such a unique contribution not only to the University of Colombo but to the whole of Sri Lanka. Just to cite an example, there was a time when we had to wait hours to get our election results. Naturally, that is always a moment of anxiety, and it was Professor Samaranayaka's initiative that made that possible within a matter of minutes, if not seconds. He introduced us into this new field of technology, which was totally foreign to Sri Lanka. People in other parts of the world had gone ahead of us, and we in Sri Lanka were still pioneers, or perhaps not even that when it came to IT. But now today we can claim that we have our own institute of training, and that our children, our young men and women, can be equal to anyone else in the world. We know our neighboring country, India, has gone very far in IT, technology, and there is no reason why we cannot equal them or surpass them. It is very appropriate that he has the title, or rather those who prepared this volume have given this book the title Partners in Progress. We must always remember that Partners in Progress also makes progress in the partners. And that shows that united we can do a lot of things, but divided we will perish. Professor Samaranayake has this strange ability, strange I say in Sri Lanka, of getting others to work with him. He has an enormous capacity to work, as already mentioned, but that capacity to work is not a solo run. He does not do it alone, but he gets many others to join him, and his ability to inspire people to work and to work with him and for him is the most remarkable characteristic in his behavior. So if we can join together, and this ability is shared by the leaders of our country, I think Sri Lanka would be certainly a better country to live in. Today, the problem is that each one wants to service himself, and that egoism is a bane in public life and also in every other aspect of our progress. We have always been trying to say I and not we. And if we have the ability to say we are the people and we can do it and make all partners, our progress will be stupendous. This is what I have to say. I congratulate Professor Samaranayake, and I thank all those who have been responsible for producing this volume, which is certainly a tribute to a great man. Thank you.